Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Need a roof? Call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and on Fire Athletes, the platform powered by GameCoin, which I hope a lot of you saw the news yesterday as reported by the Business Report. But not that many of you would care, but an announcement 3 years in the making, something that we haven't been able to talk about for, going on 4 years now. But at long last, people now know the actual truth as to what happened and why. What happened with the price of the token 3 years ago happened. And I'm very proud of my guy, David Mailer. All right, y'all, please smash the like button if you would, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Saints have finished their interview with Eagles OC Kellen Moore. So that's good news. Went up there and apparently had an all-day, night type thing. I know Ross Jackson wrote about it. I mean, Ross filed the story last night about 12:30 in the morning. So about the interview being finished. So it was a let's see, this was at 12:25 a.m. So let's see, gotta go with that. Anyway, so the Saints went up to Philly, conducted this interview. Apparently, it was a very long process to get this done. Sorry, I just had to make an edit. Sorry, I just had to jump in that story real quick and make an edit I saw. So anyway, so interviewed Kellen Moore. I think, could have an answer as early as today. If they like Kellen Moore offering the job, he accepts it, cool. If not, then you have a decision to make. Do you hire Mike McCarthy? Do you run it back with Darren Rizzi? Do you pursue Cliff Kingsbury? If Cliff Kingsbury said he wasn't going to do any interviews until after Washington season ended, well, it ended on Sunday. So Saints want to go interview Kingsbury. Why not? And if Kingsbury, it goes back to the question a lot of these coaches have, do you want the Saints job? He's in Washington with Jaden Daniels coming off an NFC Championship game appearance. I mean, that could very well be the place he wants to be, to say, hey, run it back with JD5 again, try to go win a Super Bowl, don't have the pressure being the head coach, wait for a better job, all that sort of stuff. So I guess that's a component as well. But, if they want to hire more, they could hire him today if he wants to accept it. Now, they couldn't formally, you'd hear the announcement that likely to hire, whatever. But, they formally couldn't do it until after the Super Bowl, but that could happen. The longer it goes, it feels like, or they could hire Mike McCarthy today. The longer it goes, it feels like they still want to interview other candidates. So it could be, Cliff Kingsbury they want to interview later in the process. So it feels like we're on watch now that it could be any minute. If they make a decision that it's Kellen Moore from the job, he accepts it, and we could have that decision today. So could be a big day. Definitely be a big week. I expect this will be done. I mean, how does it go beyond this week? I mean, the only candidate you're in on that's still coaching is Kellen Moore, and you interviewed him. I mean, make a decision. At this point, make a decision. Hey, Thomas, good morning. Hunter Broadhead, Trivia Carter, Bailey C. I'd be cool with more. Get him here. Let's go. It's interesting, man, because Kellen Moore is a guy that they got fired in Dallas. I don't know that it was necessarily his fault or if he just got scapegoated or whatever the case may be. But, he got fired in Dallas. But, boy, he certainly seemed to be the unlock this year in Philly, or maybe it was Saquon Barkley. Perhaps having a 2,000-yard rusher helped. But then again, was Saquon's ability to rush for 2,000 because of the offense in Philly. That's a good roster, though. Jalen Hurts is good. I mean, you get Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Goddard, and you add Saquon to that mix. I mean, that's a good team. It's a really good roster. He ain't going to have that here if he comes. But, it does check the box of what I wanted, which was a young offensive-minded coach. I mean, that's where the league is trending. It's what I wanted the Saints to do. If they hire Kellen Moore, I'd be good with it. Burnell Thomas, good morning. Scone and the Rolling Sconers. Still liking Brian Flores or Kafka. Yeah, I mean, Flores, I haven't heard his name at all. They haven't interviewed him. He's not even anywhere in the conversation. So I don't think that's happening. They interviewed Kafka, who is, I've been saying Kafka, whatever. It's Kafka. But, OC for the Giants, another young offensive mind. Bad quarterback situation there in New York, so we'll see. But again, if they wanted to hire Kafka, it feels like they could have done that already. So he's certainly not their top choice. Brant, good morning. You think JJ is in the same place as last season, where it may take a while to figure out the team? LSU had a rough start, going 3-12 in SEC play. Yeah, I got a full. But today's Locked on LSU is a full season preview. So we run through a reminder of what happened at the end of last year, who you lost, who you brought in, all that good stuff. The thing that I would remind you, Brant, is a big part of LSU's start that they had a year ago was also the schedule. While, yes, they were figuring things out, and it was unfortunate Thatcher Hurd didn't. We all assumed Thatcher Hurd was going to build on his performance in Omaha and be your Friday night guy, and it just never materialized. And so it took him a while to figure out Holman, jump Holman, however that was going to go, and you never really had a number 3. So, that was unfortunate. But I think your schedule in the first half had as much to do with that. Like, if you just inverted the schedule, how different does the season look? Meaning, if you played so, for example, they started off on the road at Mississippi State, lost 2 out of 3. Then they played Florida in Baton Rouge and lost 2 out of 3. And then they had to go to Arkansas, who's ranked number 1 in the country. They got swept. And then they played Vanderbilt, who's ranked 6th in the country, and they lost 2 out of 3. And then they played Tennessee, who was ranked 4th, but the eventual national champion in Knoxville, and got swept. Then they played Missouri, who stunk, and won 2 out of 3. And then they played Auburn and won 2 out of 3. That was a home series against Auburn, won 2 out of 3. Then they played A&M, this was where the season changed. They played A&M, who at the time was ranked number 1 in the country, and LSU took 2 out of 3 in that series. And then you played Bama, and this was the disappointing one because you lost 2 out of 3, and there were a couple of one-run decisions. You blew the Friday night game and lost 8-7, and then you blew Sunday and you lost 4-3. But then you swept Ole Miss to wrap up the regular season. So all that to say, like, if you just inverted the schedule a year ago and you went Missouri, Auburn, A&M, Bama, Ole Miss, and that was the first half, I mean, you're probably at the break at 10-5, 11-4, and it's a dramatically different feeling. You know more about your team, and so you don't have that. So all that to say, I think it was just, I think clearly they were a good team last year. They weren't a championship caliber team, but even still, I mean, they blew a save against Carolina, who was were they the 2 or 3 national seed? And sorry. My nephew just texted me. He's about to start his day at Catholic High. And one of the teachers that I had at Catholic who's still there, he just texted me, say, what was your nickname for this teacher? Because we had a nickname we called him. So I just told him. So he's no doubt in his class he's going to get thrown at him. It's funny. Anyway, I forgot what we're talking about. Josh, good morning. Not hating the idea of Moore. Eric Triplett pointed out everywhere Moore has been, he's brought Doug Nussmeier as quarterback's coach. That'd be cool. That is interesting. What a good tidbit. Dale, deepest pitching staff I can recall at LSU. Man, I'd have to think about that. Dale, that feels like a little recency bias. And again, we haven't seen any of these guys pitch. So, I'm excited about Anthony Ianson, but how does he transition from UC San Diego to the SEC? Zach Cohen last year was the Friday night guy at Wofford, but how does he go from Wofford to the SEC? We're not, unfortunately, going to get to see Devin Sheeran, who's, 6'5" righty who throws 100, but tore his ACL. But how would he have gone from Mount St. Mary's to LSU? Connor Ware, how does he go from JUCO to LSU? It's just, that's the unknown. You have a lot of options. William Schmidt, number 5 overall prospect. Okay, well, high school to the SEC is different. Cade Anderson was the number 1 prospect in the state last year, and he was really good in the non-conference and midweeks. Not so good when they got the SEC play. Struggled to get SEC hitters out. So I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment there, Dale. I'm excited about it. I think they got a lot of arms, a lot of guys to choose from. But we're going to have to make sure that these guys can deliver and get SEC hitters out, which they haven't shown they can do. So until you can have all the talent in the world. Cam Johnson's a great example of that. Cam Johnson was the highest rated pitching prospect ever to show up at LSU. 98 from the left side. Kid couldn't throw a strike. So, it doesn't matter if you have the talent. You got to be able to command it and execute your pitches against good hitters. So let's see. Do you think the coaches will teach Nuss to use his legs when there's a 20 yards of open field? No, I think they're just going to tell him just to never run. Hey, Dad, good morning. Shane O'Mac, it's 2-horse race with Moore and McCarthy. Seems that way. But I don't know, man. The longer this goes on, what if they want to interview Kingsbury? Good. Rex, good morning. Jason H, good morning. Given all the offense, all the success with an offense led by Hurts, it would scare me we'd be in the mix for Milroe. Saints don't draft quarterbacks early. Nothing's up with Cliff Kingsbury. So he said he wasn't going to interview until after the season for any jobs, until after the Washington season ended. Washington season's now over. Does he want to interview with the Saints? Do the Saints want to interview him? That's a question we don't know yet. So the longer the Saints go without making a decision, it tells you that there's still somebody else they want to interview, which is likely Kingsbury. Hey, Brad, why is Gruden not a hot name anymore? He was for so many years. There's obviously the email scandal, which soured a lot of people on Gruden, no doubt. Got him fired with the Raiders. Saints did bring him in kind of as a consultant in camp last year. The other part of it too is, man, I think Gruden's a little overrated as a head coach, man. I know that seems blasphemous, but you look at his seasons in Tampa. His first year they won the Super Bowl, and then they went 7-9, 5-11, 11-5, then 4-12, then 9-7, 9-7. He was out. In Tampa, he was 57-55. Then when he went back to the Raiders in 2018 and was there for 3 seasons, got fired in his 4th year, he was 22-31. So I don't know, man. I think Gruden might be a little more sizzle than steak as a head coach. Good morning. Looks like another day of rain up here. Bring on Valentine's Day. Better vibes. Have a good one. Yes, sir. Bailey, need a young offensive guy that's disconnected from the Saints. I've been in lockstep with you from the beginning. The one thing, Bailey, that I would say that I would pivot is if they decide to retain Darren Rizzi as a 1 year. They never phrase it that way, but if they retain Darren Rizzi in the same way that the Raiders retained Antonio Pierce, or that the Patriots hired Gerard Mayo. And it's just going to be like, they know internally it's just a 1-year thing until they get a better candidate available. Hey, Brian Wynn, good morning. Michael, good morning. If you have time, love to get your recs for one mostly full day and 2 evenings in New York. Have 3 trips next month with that schedule for work. Awesome. Hang on one second. I'm going to go turn off Drew's sound machine. So we will handle a bit of business here first. All right.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
All right. You need a roof called Parish. You need North Peach called Brock. Remember, 8 Brock locations around the greater Baton Rouge area, so you're never far from one. So, Michael, if you need something to do in New York, so would you say 1 day, 2 evenings? Where are you staying? Because here's one thing you can run into, Michael. If you're staying in Lower Manhattan and you want to go to Yankee Stadium, well, that's going to take you half a day to. I mean, it could, depend on getting trains and all, whatever. It's not easy to navigate the city, so it's sometimes better to try to, because no matter where you are in the city, you'll find amazing things to do. It's just a matter of where you are. Like, are you staying near Times Square, Central Park? Are you staying in Lower Manhattan? Where are you staying? And then you have a much better idea of what to do. Like, if you're staying near Times Square, I would say, man, like, go to a Broadway show, because you're walking distance right there. You're probably about a 10-minute walk to Central Park. And so you'd be at Central Park South, and you could go see the Plaza Hotel. You could walk in Central Park. I mean, there's so many things like that you could do. Just depending on where. It depends on where you are. It depends on where you are, where you're staying. Bubba Smith, good morning. Tyga Poppy, good morning. Joy Locked On. Thank you, man. I appreciate that so much. We always encourage you to make Locked On LSU your first listen or first watch every day. We appreciate that greatly. Yeah, today was a full LSU baseball season preview. So we are going through our previews position by position, or position group, with Terrio. So 2 weeks ago, or last week, I should say, we did infield. This week we did outfield. Coming up this coming weekend, we'll take a look at the pitchers with Terrio. But today I did my full season preview with the Tigers practice. And so from here moving forward, it'll be updates building on that when there's things we know, which seems to be like crystallizing. Do we know about the pitching, the rotation? Do we know who's, maybe has a lead at catcher, or what they're going to do in right field, all that sort of stuff. So, but thank you for watching. Hey, Bubba, good morning. Eli, Matt, would it be better for us to retain Rizzi, take a hard bottom-out approach this year, position ourselves? I mean, Eli, that's been the one except. I mean, I've kind of said that for about a week now. That would be my one exception. Like, I want them to hire a young offensive-minded coach. That's just the trend in the NFL. It's a copycat league. That's what I would like to see them do. But the exception would be that you retained Aaron Rizzi, you allow all these bad contracts to purge off. You tank, you get a top 5 pick, and then you hire your actual coach next year when you have a more desirable job. Hey, Brian, good morning. Michael Cook, Tony Williams, good morning. Robbie, I used to enjoy watching the Pro Bowl when the game was played in Hawaii. Now the Pro Bowl is a complete joke, flag football game being played in Florida. What are your thoughts on the Pro Bowl? I mean, I'm kind of similar, Robbie. It used to be a thing. The players decided they didn't care anymore, and so it's not a thing anymore. So I don't miss it. I don't miss it. I don't care if they were playing a real football game the week after the Super Bowl. I'd probably watch, but they don't. I won't. Just what it is. Brian, I did send me the link. Brian, I'm sorry. Send me the link. Brett, good morning. Miracle, good morning. Hope the fam's well. Your thoughts? NCAA, NFL conspiracy folks need to realize the football players still need to make plays. Yeah, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think by and large, conspiracy theorists are goofballs. If you think that sports like the NFL is this giant fix, I mean, you got dudes out there getting CTE for a fix. Come on. Mark Allen. People are waiting for Nuss to have his Forrest Gump moment when it comes to running. David Bass, Nick to the Saints. Maybe we'll put up that statue. I don't hate the idea. And if you wanted to go run it back and get Nick Saban to the Saints, I don't hate the idea. But I think the thing he learned in Miami is you're not winning without a quarterback. They passed on Drew Brees. They signed Dante Culpepper, and he lasted 2 seasons. So the Saints don't have a quarterback. If the Saints had a quarterback, it might be different. Like Dallas would have been more appealing because you got a quarterback. I mean, Dak Prescott, you can say what you want about Dak, but Dak's won a lot of games, got to the playoffs. Like he's a viable top 10 starting quarterback in the NFL. You don't have that in New Orleans. Kelly Gross, good morning. I'm okay with the 1-year Rizzy idea. I don't believe they'll do that. I don't think it'd be the worst thing given the state of the team. I agree. Like, I don't think they're going to do it. They haven't shown any indication it's something that they're interested in doing. But it's a theory I have, and I'd kind of like to see it, especially given what we just saw in New England, what they were able to do, what Las Vegas was able to do, making the hire a year later. Tom is breaking records every day. Dale. There you go, Dale. Oh, Dale, are you back with your second cup of coffee? Oh, good. Then let's play the jingle again.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
Just for you, Dale.
Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
Just for you, Dale. That was just for you, buddy. Hey, remember Unique Physique and Restored Motions, Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, semaglutide, tirzepatide. The weight loss shots you hear so many people talk about. If you are looking to lose weight here at the start of the new year, New Year's resolution, our friends over at Unique Physique can help. Lowest prices, never any contracts. They just implemented 3-month pricing as well, so you can save $100 if you buy 3 months at a time. You do the whole thing over telemed, so you don't have to go in an office. They can ship your medicine anywhere in the country, so it's super convenient. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com. Hey, Brian, you think Trey Green will continue to have a positive impact on the basketball team? Yeah, I mean, he's getting minutes. So, I mean, he played positive minutes. The whispering walls of Grand Central Station. Charlie Cavell, Michael. Okay. Oh, you're staying at LaGuardia. Okay. So you're staying in Queens. Well, then if you've been, what have you done before? That's probably a better question. I mean, you know, you could do the touristy stuff and go to Lower Manhattan and you could see Freedom Tower and you could go see the Statue of Liberty and you're near the financial district, so you could go see you go see Wall Street, New York Stock Exchange. There's a lot of stuff there in Lower Manhattan if you've never done that. You can go to Chinatown and try to find a fake Rolex for Terrio. Pat Hughesman, good morning. Abner Neal, what's up? Fitness, you need a quarterback saving income. Yeah, I mean, come on. B Tan Man, good morning. Hey, Brad, what do you think of the Raiders hiring Carroll? Do you think Pete Carroll's too old to coach in the NFL? No, I don't think he's too old. I mean, he's 73 or maybe going to be 74. I mean, he's the oldest coach in the NFL. So it's odd to see, but he always feels youthful. And if he's still wants to give it a go, it's fine. I also I think in this terms, Brad, NFL coaches are hired to be fired. So I just don't anyway. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think the Raiders made that hire thinking Pete Carroll's going to be here for 10 years. I mean, they just fired a coach after 1 year. So, I think sometimes we I think sometimes we try to think long term, and that's just not the reality in the NFL. All right, please smash the like button if you would, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Hey, Quentin, what's going on, man? Good morning. Burnell, you need to stop Scone. You need to stop Scone where there's smoke, there's fire. What do you mean? For you, Dale. Thomas, for you too, man. Let's see. Pat, let's see what's the best game plan for the Saints. Makes the best sense, but no way Loomis does anything, smart, right? Oh, you're saying that's the best game, but yes. Matt, are we going to have an actual quarterback battle between Carr and Rattler? Will any coach we hire give Rattler a chance to beat Carr out? Maybe. I'm not convinced that Carr is back. I mean, it's the most likely scenario, but the Saints can designate him as a post-June 1 release, get major cap relief this year, limit that number spread out over the next couple of years, and you can move on and you can tank. But I think if you do that, it has to be with the understanding for a new coach that, hey, we're going to tank this year. We're getting rid of Carr. It's going to be bad, but we're committed to you, and we're going to let you draft a quarterback next year. Like, if that's the way you're approaching it with a new coach hire, I think that's great. But if you're hiring someone with the expectation they're going to win now, they're going to want Derek Carr because Carr gives you the best chance to win now. Vanessa's Dumpling House in Chinatown. John Hobbs, I can see it now. McCarthy's hired brings Parsons to start building a Dome Patrol 2.0. I can dream, can't I? You can dream, but that feels more like you're high. Brad, Saints tank for Nussmeier. Nussmeier or some quarterback at the top of next year's draft. I think they should. Few touristy things in Lower Manhattan, Times Square, 9/11 Memorial, NHL game in the Garden. Few things I'd look into: Statue of Liberty, Yankee Stadium tour, Financial District. Oh, that's what you've done. Times Square, 9/11 Memorial, NHL game. If you haven't been around Central Park, Michael, like, you got to do that. Like, you got to. And listen, there's a lot that you can do in the park, but there's a lot of stuff also around the park that's good. Like, there's a great brunch spot called Sarah Beth's, which is on Central Park South, the Plaza Hotel, Central Park South. They're shopping right there. I mean, you're right near Billionaires Row, like Fifth Avenue, where there's all the shops on Fifth Avenue. Some amazing buildings and architecture. If you're interested in that, But man, you got to spend some time around Central Park if you've never done the park. Thomas, one more time for an even 25 in the math is jacked. I don't have time for it. Mandalore, old guard Saints fan, you know what it is. Younger Saints fans, buckle up. There's going to be some suffering. Matt, do you think Kellen Moore would be more of a lieutenant or general as a head coach? Great question. Don't know. He's never been a head coach. See, I could say that about Dennis Allen because we knew what Dennis Allen was. Dennis Allen was a great defensive coordinator. He was a terrible head coach at 2 different stops. So we know what he is. I don't know that about Kellen Moore. I have no idea. But we'll find out. And there is some appeal in the unknown because with the unknown, you have a higher potential ceiling. Now you have a lower potential floor as well because he could completely bottom out and crater. But I don't know. Bailey, New York is great. I want to go back. Me too, man. I was trying to convince Erica to go up there for Mardi Gras. Rocky, good morning. Brady and Kellen Moore are the same agent. Maybe Brady got tipped off. Okay. I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. All of our sponsors are linked in the description on YouTube, tagged on Facebook, so please support them. And remember, now go check out Locked on LSU podcast or YouTube and AFR3. Y'all have an awesome day.